Hi and welcome back. In this module we're looking at strain theory, the first in our analysis of the major theories of juvenile delinquency. What is strain? Basically it's stress. The stress felt by individuals either when they want something but don't get it, or when they have something and have it taken away. The first major type of strain is the failure to achieve goals. Individuals have goals that they want to achieve, usually determined by societal expectations from friends, parents, the media, and so on. When they are unable to achieve those goals through legitimate means, that is, through legal means, the result is strain. Now, most people will associate this type of strain with monetary goals of some sort, and that's where it started. Researchers like Merton, Cloward, and Olin said that the desire for money, including those things that money can buy, like cars, computers, etc., and the lack of legitimate means for gaining that money lead to strain. And individuals who experience this strain may turn to illegitimate means, i.e. delinquent acts, to achieve those goals: stealing, gambling, dealing drugs, etc. But this is not the case for all juveniles. Low-income juveniles are more likely to turn to illegal activities to gain a lot of money. This can give rise to delinquent subcultures, that is, that juveniles who experience strain often form delinquent peer groups. Cloward and Olin point to three distinct types of these peer groups referred to as subcultures. First, the criminal subculture, where delinquents group together around the goal of theft. Second, the conflict subculture, where delinquents group together around fighting. And third, the retreatist subculture, where juveniles group together around drug use. Be sure to check out the details of Cloward and Olin's research in Chapter 6. Okay, the main theory we want to get to in this chapter is Agnew's general strain theory. And yes, that's Bob Agnew, the lead author of our textbook. Agnew expanded on the theories of Merton, Cloward, Olin, Rosenfeld, and Messner. His research pointed out that juveniles and adults have goals other than just money. He theorized that being blocked from achieving other types of goals also results in strain. For example, Agnew and Cohen published on the need to be positively regarded by others. The need to achieve masculine status is key here. This includes traits like independence, dominance, toughness, competitiveness, and heterosexuality. This is especially true during teenage years, when middle schools and high schools strive for docility, submission, and a lack of individuality. Further, as a result of historical discrimination, African American and Hispanic males are more likely to experience this type of strain. Other goals of juveniles that can be blocked, causing strain, include thrills and excitement, autonomy from adults, and so on. Now, there are 5 types of strains, so let's run through those quickly, and then you can read the details in Chapter 6. First, there are objective strains, those experienced by all or most people, being physically assaulted, being robbed, or, for men at least, having masculinity called into question. Second, there are subjective strains, an event or condition that is disliked by the particular person being researched. Falling grades, divorce, death of a family member. Third, there are experience strains, those events that individuals personally experience, like being assaulted or receiving a failing grade. Fourth, there are vicarious strains, those events or conditions that individuals feel on behalf of others, like being angry or anxious about the assault of a loved one, or being mad about a friend receiving a failing grade. And finally, there are anticipated strains, the individual's expectation that current strains will continue into the future, or that new strains will occur, like carrying a weapon because of the fear of being attacked, or simply adopting a tough demeanor. Okay, that leads us to the crux of the theory, coping mechanisms. Whether or not an individual's strain leads to delinquent behavior depends on whether or not the individual has adequate coping mechanisms. In being blocked in achieving goals, people experience strain. Strain increases negative emotionality. In order to overcome the negative emotionality, people seek coping mechanisms. There are 2 types. First, there are legitimate coping mechanisms, such as seeking counseling or therapy, peer or mentor intervention to encourage rational thinking, i.e., think about the consequences of your actions, or simply emotional support from family and friends. On the other hand, there are illegitimate or illegal coping mechanisms. These are often referred to as criminal coping, such as violence, larceny, theft, burglary, and drug use. So that should be a good intro into Chapter 6. Strain theory is incredibly important in our studies this term, so be sure you give the whole chapter a good read through, and I'll see you online.